let's talk about what our friend, Adam's best friend, Donald Trump, had to say about Facebook and Twitter. He recently decided to sue those guys. This is a Reuters story. Trump sues Facebook, Twitter, and Google, claiming censorship. Former U.S. President Donald Trump on Wednesday filed a lawsuit against those guys, as well as their chief executives, alleging they unlawfully silenced conservative viewpoints. A lawsuit filed in the U.S. District Court of Miami alleged the California-based social media platform violated the right to freedom of speech guaranteed by the First Amendment of the U.S. Constitution. Trump is seeking class action status for the lawsuit, meaning the world he would represent the interests of other users of Twitter, Facebook, Google, YouTube, who allege they have been unfairly silenced. He filed 3 lawsuits making similar allegations, one against Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg, one against Twitter, Jack Dorsey, and one against Google, Sundar. Okay, thoughts on this lawsuit?
I'm going to shock you.
Let's hear it.
But actually, I'm good with this. I hope he...
I'm glad you are.
Yeah, I mean, because we've talked about this before.
You support this.
Meaning, if there's anything that I'm not a fan of, is the big tech overreach that's happening in this country right now. Conservative voices, they're running off to platforms like Parler and other platforms that are happening right now. I'd like to see where this goes. At the same time, these private companies are going to be able to say, look, we could do what we want. I know Trump has not been a fan of Section 230. Either is Biden. Section 230 is the thing that's big up for debate. But I'd like to see where this goes from here. However, here's my prediction. I know you talked about you don't want Trump to run. You think he's going to run. I'm going to say I think Trump is 1,000% running in 2024. But I actually do not think he has a chance unless he actually wins his lawsuit and can get on these platforms. Without Twitter, without Facebook, without YouTube, without all that stuff, he doesn't have a chance.
Way too early to say he doesn't have a chance. There's so many things that can change in this country. My biggest takeaway from this is how he claims that Facebook was in cahoots, essentially, with the Centers for Disease Control and Fauci, and to advance only the narrative that the defendants and Dr. Fauci subscribe to.
I think you mean Fauci.
Yeah, Fauci. By the way, he's 80 years old, by the way, and the highest paid government employee. So there you go. I want to watch that because now what are you hearing? All you're hearing about is the Delta variant. Yesterday, we already mentioned about the mask going back on the kids. I'm worried about where things are going with COVID because they've used it in the past. They're going to weaponize it again, and I'm scared.
What do you think, Pat?
I think, Trump has sued 1,900 people prior to him running for president. He's used to being litigious and suing people. What that means out of his 1,900 lawsuits, like is he going to win or make any kind of a headway? I don't know. I don't know if anything's going to take place over there. There's too many people that would love for him to not have the freedom to voice his opinion on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, and those people are on the left. Now, somehow, some way, I will give you timing, and I'll give you a prediction here. You ready? I'm going to give you the craziest prediction here, and I think I'm going to be right. When did Pfizer announce that their vaccine is ready?
It was like right after the election.
2 days after the election. Yeah. You know when Trump's going to be free to have Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube back? A day after election.
Midterms?
Not midterms. 2024. He will be back on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube in December of 2024. That is my prediction, and I'm sticking to it.
Okay.
And the people of power, no timing. They've done a great job with it strategically. Manipulative, dark, dirty, but they're going to play that card, and they're going to say, yes, let's drag out this lawsuit. Mr. Trump, you won, but December 2024. And by that time, you're 78, which means for you to run at 82 will not happen. That means we will never get a second term with the president.
You don't
Trump.
think that they're cunning and conniving to
Not
do
at all. I
something
think
like
they're your
that,
friends.
would you?
They're
Of course.
So if you enjoyed this little short segment from the podcast that we did, here's another short segment to watch. Or if you want to see the entire podcast, click over here. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.